does fog up, though.
Oh. So you're just steeping in your own mouth juices right
My
now?
mouth is so delicious all the time.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Well, I mean,
Can you tell what I am?
you know, it is for the best that you told me before we started. Not because you are not a depiction of wonder, but just because I thought maybe you were like a take on the Oscars statuette, which was like, I understand. You're giving an Oscar for the performance, for everyone's performance in the end of the book.
Okay,
Which,
interesting.
yeah, because you are very scary. You make me think, I thought you were going to funny games me.
Wow. I think you should trust me more than that.
But I want you, but don't you want, honestly, is there any kind of trust better than fear?
Yeah. Yes.
I fear you because I respect you.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was the cauldron.
She's the cauldron.
I'm the cauldron.
I got it. But that's because, like, I am, like, a performance art, like,
understander.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I get it. I'm like, oh, you gonna put some yarn up your holes and stitch? Do you ever see that one? Where, like, the yarn keeps coming out of her pussy.
Out of her hoo-ha.
Yeah, and she's sitting there and she's like crocheting with it, and it's all about like the creation we create with our pussy.
That makes me think of the thing I saw during college or right after college from one of my college friends' performances. A different person at the performance, not my friend, did a modern dance piece where they were like fully nude from the bottom down, and then began to scoop peanut butter out of a jar and just slap it into the vagine.
And what did it represent?
I don't know.
Peanut allergies. Beware of peanut allergies.
I will tell you, hot, sweaty vagine and peanut butter smells, and it sent a wafting smell through
Oh, God.
theater.
Wow,
and it was
visceral.
about a year before I could eat peanut butter again. So maybe it was
bet.
supposed to be like a take on, we're destroying peanuts. You're taking the peanuts away from the nature, and they wanted you to stop eating peanut butter.
Oh, man. It's the anti-nut gang.
Yeah.
Well, I think we call them edgers back where I come from.
I've had
Come
some
on.
nuts in there too. But,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah, oh, what's going on down there? But you haven't had a spread, have you? Well, you've spread.
Speaking of spreading some nuts around in the vagine,
please.
here we are back
Yes.
in a court of wings and ruin.
Yes. Well, you also haven't guessed who I am, even though I was complaining because my wig was more red and not as chestnut as I was hoping.
It is a little bit more, it looks auburn, which is different characters in this.
I searched for chestnut.
I would, in my head, I think chestnut as like a rich brown, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little bit more red, but it's a pretty wig.
Thank you.
very
I'm trying
cute.
to be Miriam.
I like the cut.
There's not a lot of fan art about Miriam, and I think that's not fair because I think there's a lot of smut that can be derived from Miriam.
Yeah.
Especially if we're making up. I mean, we don't get the smut in the books per se, but if she's keeping that man on that island, she must have some magic.
Yeah. Not even the ACOTARpedia has a picture of her.
Yeah, so I just kind of guessed.
I love that.
I kind of made it
use
up,
your
but that's why it doesn't
imaginations.
even matter that it's not chestnut. But in my head, I wanted it to be chestnut,
I think she is supposed to have dark hair.
right?
Let's see. Her
Not
appearance.
red. Say that to the chestnut gangs. Man, we are anti-nut here.
Where?
Well, we're trying to be pro-nut, but there's only so much we can do. It's going in the vagines. It's not
Wow.
going on the hair.
It's not even, they don't even have her appearance. Maybe there is no actual description of her appearance,
Well, there is now, bitches, and it's chestnut as shit.
but also red.
Yes. Bordering on red.
Bouldering on red.
But I like your cauldron fit. Your fashion is undeniable.
I did have all of this just in my house. I didn't purchase anything.
So
for
you've
this.
been taking your time just dressing up as pots and pans while I'm not around?
I guess so. I don't know why I had all this stuff. I mean, we do have a costume room, okay?
Yes, and I will
sad
also
life.
say, speaking of cauldrons, in The Sims, because I do play The Sims of Our Lives, and in your home, I do have a cauldron in the middle of your living room, and it does constantly have mac and cheese inside
I
of it.
know, I heard, and I support every second of that.
I just want to make sure you're getting your intake of mac and cheese in The Sims world.
And I really appreciate that you're looking out for my health in that
You're
way.
welcome. Man, we left everybody in quite a predicament last week.
Oh!
Did we ever?
You know, when I tell you I was beside myself at when this next chapter started, I didn't, okay. Most of the time you're like, an author's not going to kill off a main character, but you never know.
I cried.
Oh, I cried. During this next scene with Feyre, I absolutely cried. I think I cried probably several times reading this.
Even reading it again, I cried.
Yeah, and I was so ready to be furious with this woman.
Well,
this author.
We all have been ruined by Game of Thrones. Now we never trust ever again. We'll never trust ever again.
I didn't get that spoiled for me, and I'm really glad. Because I just watched it just a couple years ago for the first time.
Reading it, I didn't have the Red Wedding spoiled for me, and all of our friends were reading Game of Thrones at the time, and I was a little bit behind everybody else. And I just remember my friend Cap was like, "You'll get to this one spot, and you're going to want to talk to someone about it." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "You're going to know when you get to it." And then I just remember I was reading it at like 3:30 in the morning, and I called him on the phone until he woke up so that I could be like, "What? What?"
It is life altering. I can never remember if we've talked about this on the show already or if I've just talked to you without microphones about this
Wait,
story.
we've never spoken to each other without microphones before.
You're right.
We save it for here. We want to make sure that our
Even at
interaction is
Christmas.
pure. Yeah, no. We haven't spoken in years leading up to this.
It's so awkward when we're at family events.
Oh, we're still around each other. We just can't speak. But I think that we've gotten really good at being like the Jabberwockies. Honestly, you're giving Jabberwocky. You're giving Jabberwocky. You get that out of here. Get away from me, you creepist. Don't you walkie at me. I don't know what you do under those masks. I don't know where you're looking. I don't trust the Jabberwockies. You heard it here first. I won't go see their show. I won't even go see their free show at Universal.
Wow.
I don't trust the Jabberwockies. What happens under the masks?
Well, they are named after a scary monster in Alice in Wonderland.
See?
Jabberwocky's a scary thing.
Can't trust them.
Can't trust that Jabberwocky either.
Man, I'm having a lot of trust issues today, and this really comes all back to Rhys.
The other thing I was worried about with this storyline was that it was going to go, well, let's just see what happens.
Okay. I had only silence in my head. Only silence as I began screaming. Screaming and screaming and screaming. I was shaking him, screaming his name and shaking him, and my body stopped being my body and just became this thing that held me and this lack of him, and I could not stop screaming and screaming.
She feels the presence of Mor and Cassian and Azriel around her, but doesn't acknowledge them. She's struck with the realization that his last "I love you" to her was really a goodbye.
That's why you always say "I love you" before you, even if the person's walking into the other room. You have to say "I love you." You never know what could happen in the other room.
Dozens, hundreds of times a day. You must do it.
Constantly.
Constantly be worried they're going to disappear.
And just be like, "You know I love you, right?" Just ask them every time you see, "You know I love you, right? You know that I still love you, right?"
They love it. They love hearing
You
that.
won't be driven into madness.
She feels arms on her trying to pull her away from Rhys's body, and she screams and she lashes out until they let go.
Let me near him.
No. She knows she can't live with him gone, and as hands reach down towards him, she growls again, but someone tells her they are learning if he can be helped. She turns to Thazan, who only shakes his head. "Please,"
I said, and wasn't sure who I was speaking to. My fingers scraped against Rhys's armor, trying to get to the heart beneath.
Tarquin kneels down to her and only says, "I'm sorry."
It was those 2 words that shattered me. Shattered me in a way I didn't know I could still be broken. A rending of every tether and leash.
The words of the Suriel rattle through her head. "Stay with the High Lord and all will be righted." And it sounds like cruel mockery now. But that word, stay, she reaches and scrambles inside of her to find that last fiber of the tether connecting her to Rhysand. Stay, 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 stay. She clings as...
I looked up at Tarquin, lip curling back from my teeth. Looked at Helion, and Thesan, and Beran, and Callias, Vivian weeping at his side. And I snarled.
"Bring him back." They only stare. She screams it again. She knows they've done it once for her. She demands they do it again. Only they don't know what will happen, or if it would help someone who is already Fae. She doesn't care. She demands again, and searches inside herself for any road into their heads, not caring if she's violating, even if she has to take over their bodies. But before it can get that far...
Tarquin stepped forward. He slowly extended his hand toward me.
"For what he gave,"
Tarquin said quietly.
"today and for many years before." She watches it disappear into Rhys's throat. One by one, the other High Lords who have all gathered here now step forth and offer up another of their kernels of magic. This time there is no Rhysand to force Baron's hand, and he hesitates.
That little bitch.
That little bitch. Then Moore is there with a sword at his throat. She tells him she will end his life without a second thought. He sneers at her, but he begins moving, dropping one seed of Autumn Court onto Rhys's skin. She realizes, as High Lady, she should now try, but doesn't know how. She says to everyone and no one.
I just imagine her like spitting on him. Like, what do I give him? Like, how do you give a kernel of yourself? Of like, what do I do? What do I just like try and like, I don't know,
piss on him.
Squeeze milk out of my nipples? Like, just give him something.
No, that she has to ask. She says to everyone and no one, "Show me how." Thesan gently explains, and after a moment of effort, a small seed appears at her finger. All of the High Lords and Ladies have now given, except one. She turns.
Oh. Tamlin stood there, summoned by either the death of a fellow High Lord or one of the others around me. He was splattered in mud and gore, his new bandolier of knives mostly empty.
He's emotionless as he watches Feyre lay over Rhysand, his old enemy and his betrothed. Instead of rage, Feyre is consumed with unending grief. As she turns away from Tamlin and backs over Rhys, she weeps and quietly pleads, "Please, I will give you anything. Please." Still, Tamlin doesn't move. She begins to rock and chant, "Anything. Anything."
Steps scuffed on the rocky ground. I braced myself for another set of hands trying to pull me away and dug my fingers in harder. Tamlin stood there, staring down at me, those green eyes swimming with some emotion I couldn't place.
"Be happy, Feyre,"
he said quietly, and dropped that final kernel of light onto Rhysand.
"Ah! Be happy, Feyre."
Man, but at the same time, that's like such a thing that like my narcissist grandmother would say, you know, like, go ahead, be happy. Think about me every time he looks back at you. You know that I'm the one that made sure he's alive. But maybe that's just the, again, Catholic guilt that I dealt with.
No,
growing
I
up.
get it. Yeah. I mean,
Like, of course you would say that. Then I got to think about you. Don't like, get away from me. Be
You're
happy.
welcome.
Oh, get away. Get away.
Oh, you're welcome, Feyre.
It's not because of you, damn it.
But at this point, you'll take what you'll take, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And at the very least, he did it.
Did I make Jeff read this part and be like, this is how I would be if you died? Oh man, he has had to hear about these books for so long.
Yeah. No, that's what he vowed to, and what he didn't know.
He didn't know that that's what he was getting into. Me weeping over a wig because it was more auburn than chestnut.
But I mean, come on, he had to have expected it.
Oh yeah, he knew. He knows what he was getting himself into, and he always says, "I'm not too much.
You're just enough.
Just enough. I'm 2 handfuls a woman, and that's just enough for my Jeffrey."
Oh boy.
Oh, 2 handfuls.
All right, we don't need to know your
2
bedroom.
handfuls back here.
All right. All right.
I'm upset, okay?
I
I'm
know
going
it was
through things.
the coping mechanism.
Thank you.
Feyre shuts her eyes and waits, not knowing what to expect. No one present seems to know if it will do any good, this ritual. And so she begins telling him their love story deep inside her mind, coaxing that tether to pull back, tells him about the first night she saw him on Colin Mai, tells him about their life together, the future they still need to have.
And in return, a thud sounded. I opened my eyes. Another thud. And then his chest rose, lifting my head with it. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe.
And then Rhys grows.
Oh!
Her love brought him back to life.
And all their kernels, their little nuggy nugs of their senses of self.
Although, I don't know, the way that he explains it seems like it didn't help. He didn't need them.
Man, I bet they'd be pissed. Like, I gave my kernel. I gave you a nuggy nug.
Hey, thanks for the kernel, sucker.
What are you, Sanders? 13 ingredients in my fucking soul.
They don't have KFC and
Oh.
Prithian.
Oh, that's why they look so beautiful.
Probably.
It's because they don't have any
They don't have
T-Bell.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the relief I felt. Okay, I didn't really think she was going to kill him, but I was so worried we were going to end up with chapters and chapters of some future book waiting for the return, and I truly could not have handled it.
No, and especially like even just thinking of the bone carver. And I'm like, then what was the bone carver doing the entire time?
Just being a jerk.
Just being a baby kid, just for the kicks.
Just fucking with her, I guess.
Yeah, man, I guess.
I'm so glad we did not get a whole book of Edward disappearing while Bella stares out a window.
Oh my God. Wait a second.
Just fair.
Wait a second. We did. She laid in the forest to die for the entire second book. Where is he? He's the one I love.
But the one I love isn't here. What do I do?
I guess I'll fall in love with this other boy. Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh my God, Twilight.
I'm glad we didn't get that book.
No, me too.
In true Rhys form, his first words back are a bit sardonic. If we're all here, either things went very, very wrong or very right.
Cassian's broken laugh cracked out of him.
Feyre is afraid to even open her eyes as he greets all of the others, encircling the two of them on the ground.
Man, if they had to bang after a battle, think of the banging that has to happen. I'm surprised they don't start banging right here in front of everybody.
Ugh.
Just like immediately, he's like, get it out of his loincloth.
Family's there. You gotta wait a minute.
I mean, they were still covered in the blood of war and they had sex with each other.
It's true. I would choose that over in front of family, though.
Yeah. I mean, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Don't worry.
I appreciate that.
He lets the High Lords know they can relax, that he didn't take any of their power in his returning.
Well, he's got to puke it up then. Give it back.
Yeah, I don't see. They don't explain if he just gave it back or what happened there. I don't know why, if we're not supposed to know, or it doesn't really matter.
What is it like that witch? Rabbit nose. I'm rabbit nosing. She makes that rabbit nose.
Oh, are you talking about Bewitched?
Yes. He rabbit noses it back, but I can't do that. Can you do it? Oh, you do it in a cute way. I do it in more of a hobgoblin way. I don't know how to move my nose
cute.
otherwise.
You look
Don't
like a rabbit.
Do I look like a rabbit?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a carrot. I mean, I do the same thing when I try to wink too, though. I wink with my whole face.
Very subtle.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty sexy. It's one of my sexier things.
So, yeah, we don't know what he did with those kernels. No idea.
No.
But he does tell them that he didn't take any of their power to get back. Seeing that Feyre hasn't opened her eyes yet, Rhys gently lifts her to sitting and whispers, "Stay with the High Lord." Finally, she wills her eyes open, and he tells her gently that it's all real, that he's here. And then he says he has a surprise.
He pointed with a healed hand toward the cauldron.
Someone fished dear Amren out before she catches a cold.
Where you got her? Spit her out. Give her back. Uh-oh, she's... What was that? Is this
She's like a tadpole.
Oh, like a tadpole.
She's like a sperm being born.
Okay. Let my love open the door. We were all shaped by spermies in the beginning of Look Who's Talking,
Look Who's
right?
Talking. Isn't that the second one? Oh, is that the first one?
I think it is the first one.
That is a crazy opening.
My love open the door.
Do ya? Oh.
That's how I think I learned more about the about eggs and sperm from the opening of Look Who's Talking than I did in school.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, oh, they all
They all
trying to get
compete.
in.
And then one of them has to get to the egg.
Yeah, and then I got to be scared about this for most of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to just ruin most of your
Live
life.
in fear.
Yeah. But really great visualization of it.
Yeah, so thank you, Look Who's Talking, for teaching us more than any 8th grade education ever dared to.
And I accept about the Scientology stuff. They were both Scientologists.
Do you think that they squeaked that into Look Who's Talking? Do we need to rewatch Look Who's Talking and see if they
But Scientology? We definitely should.
Yeah, did they hide it into the movie?
We definitely should check to
Whoa. All right, I'll do a rewatch.
see. Okay, fine.
Give us Amren.
All right. And so what, Amren? Amren, who just exploded into flames?
Yeah, dude.
Varian gasps and runs to the cauldron. Can you imagine how excited Varian
Oh
is?
my God, because everybody's love, he thought they were deads.
Asmore and Varian pull a slippery Amren out of the cauldron.
Oh, you think, yeah, she's like all covered in goop like in Poltergeist.
I think so.
Yeah.
As Rhys explains that when his body was going to wherever their spirits go, he saw Amren there, and he asked her if she'd like to come back with him. And so she did. But Feyre notes that the eyes that had always been reflecting the beast inside of her have now solidified into just plain gray.
Do I have beasts inside of my eyes? Can you see the beast?
I see contact lenses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a.k.a. my beasts.
Oh, that's where the beasts
Yeah,
are.
that's where, I put my little, slide of beast so that I can see, and I say, thank you, beast, every time I can see something far away.
We actually have very similar eye colors. I don't know if I've ever just... Yours is a little bit lighter brown.
You never look in my eyes?
I guess I
Would you
should.
dare say my eyes are chestnut?
Yes, those are chestnut eyes.
Whoa, so I've just been trying to find my own self.
I think so. I don't know.
Thank
We're
you,
at the
though,
end
for
of the
going
third
with
book.
me.
I'm losing my mind. But so her eyes have now just become plain gray, which I mean, gray eyes are still pretty spectacular. It's pretty cool. But now she is in a mortal body, at least compared to what she was.
And as Amren smiled at me, I wondered if that had been her last gift.
Her last gift is that she's mortal.
She gave the beast away. She burned that beast out of her. I wish I just had a little bit of beast. Like if I really needed beast could come out and then beast went away.
Why wouldn't you want that?
I guess it's like a tapeworm. You know, it eats up some of the food that I'm eating, and I say, "Thank you, tapeworm."
Don't
and then we
eat a
give
tapeworm.
We give it away.
Don't eat a tapeworm anymore.
That must have been a part of diet culture at some point.
It was.
Right? Yeah. Actually getting tapeworms to lose weight.
I think you used to be able to get them in the mail.
Ugh.
I don't think
If
I'm making that
only.
up. No, don't eat a tapeworm. It makes
And then
you
they
very
say, "Thank you,
sick.
beast. Thank you, worm." And it's thank you, mood every day.
Aw. I miss him.
I know. Thank you, worm.
Thank you, worm. Thank you, worm.
And it's slimy. Slimy comes out and goes, "You're welcome."
Hi, designers. Where are we? The Archeron sisters, along with all the others, are now putting back the pieces of their minds, of their souls, of the world. They remain on the battlefield, and the sisters attend to their father, who, if you'll recall, was just murdered.
He is dead.
Quite dead.
Daddy's dead.
As the others sort through the aftermath of this war, Feyre has a hard time letting go of Rhysand's hand, still unsure if this is all some sort of hallucination, that she has lost her mind back on the hill as he lay under her. But she knows that she must be with her sisters to go say goodbye to her father, and being alone with them seems to be of vital importance to her.
I think if I had that almost death experience with Jeff, I think that I would sew my body to his so that he would never be without me, like on his back, again, like a Yoda.
You might bleed out and both of you would just die again, though. But
Or
together,
as one like amorphous blob, like wouldn't that be like cute? Aw, blob.
yeah. That'd be really cute.
And then we start like finding other people. We start sewing them to our bodies,
Like in Evil
too.
Dead,
yeah,
Rise.
yeah.
That scene is so cool. See Evil Dead Rise if you haven't. It's a great movie. As they walk to retrieve their father and to go find his body, Feyre notes that nobody has picked up or done anything with the king's body, and instead has been left for the animals and birds. to
Good.
pick
I
apart.
say we spit on it.
And they're going, God!
I'll give you other kind of kernels.
Spit kernels.
Yeah.
Piss kernels.
If they're coming out in kernels, I think you need to drink more water.
Which I do think is like the biggest fuck you could do to like a body. Because you could say, oh, you'd string him up. But that's sort of also putting him in a high place where if
Yeah.
you just leave his body to rot and be
To be pecked apart.
I mean, that's pretty much, that's a fuck you right there.
Mm-hmm.
She witnesses Nesta spitting a kernel onto his body.
Thank
as
you,
they
Colonel.
pass. Then they reach, which is badass. I think just imagining Nesta and her leather spitting on the corpse.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Cool. Elain places wildflowers around their father's head as they reach him and tells him she loves him. Nesta, after that last shocking interaction with her father, doesn't seem to have the words she's feeling and only stares. Elain asks if they should pray, and as the humans in this world don't have such rituals, Feyre begins a prayer she heard once a very long time ago under the mountain. Mother hold you. May you pass through the gates. May you smell that immortal land of milk and honey.
Flame ignited at my fingertips.
Fear no evil. Feel no pain.
My mouth trembled as I breathed.
May you enter eternity. Again, we see a body honored through flame, which I guess is really how that they show that in Prythian. And in an instant, he's only ashes on the wind. If you'll recall, that was something that she heard at the very end of Court of Thorns and Roses in that scene where she was forced to kill the innocents.
Oh, yeah, man. Carved into her heart. Those innocents she had to kill. Now burying Daddy.
Now burying Papa.
Good remembrance, though, because I don't think that in that scene I would remember something like a little ditty like this.
I think it's because I've done nothing but read these books for 8 months straight.
Oh, no, I meant her. In
Oh. I thought you were praising me.
But also praising you for remembering when it was from. Thank you,
Thank
Natalie.
you.
We thank the beasts, we thank the worms, we thank Natalie. Not
Thank the
necessarily in that
kernels.
order. Depends on the day and what they are doing.
Fair.
But also thank you for the immortal land of milk and honey. Even though I'm sure that they want you to think it smells good, it's really hard for it to, like, in my brain, I think all the milk is being like baked in the sun.
Like it's like peanut butter and vagina.
It's like it's like, you know what? It's like peanut butter and vagina. Milk and honey. Every time I see that, I'm like peanut butter and vagina?
yeah.
That's what, I think it smells a little like peanut butter and vagina.
Yeah, it's always those pictures of the milk baths. It's a very pretty picture, but I just also I can think of is I'm gonna smell like milk in there.
Yeah, man. Just crusted milk.
The sisters stay in place for a while in silence, only breaking when they hear steps behind them and find Lucian there, bloody but unharmed, where he has come from the ships that he helped bring to the battle. So if you'll remember, Lucian arrived on the ships that appeared at the horizon at
With
the last
Daddy.
moment with Daddy. Feyre throws her arms around him and thanks him. And they quickly discuss Vasa and all the stories that Lucian must tell her. He teases Feyre, and they fall back perfectly into their sibling vibe. And then he gets serious.
But Lucian again looked at that singed grass, and his blood-splattered face turned solemn.
He was a good man.
He said,
He loved you all very much.
and we do completely forgive him? We forgive him for the whole life of difficulties? Or we at this point accept the fact that he was having a really rough mental time and that he just wasn't able to care for his children, but we forgive him. Forgive him?
I think if he got a whole armada together and died for them, then it's okay. That's what I would personally feel.
Okay.
Obviously, it's deeply traumatic, and then I don't know. There might be an entire book of somebody trying to process the death of this father. But I do feel like at that point, you at least understand he did deeply love the daughters.
Yes,
because the feeling before would have been, I don't think he gives a shit about us, and that's what would be kind of shitty and awful.
Yes.
But I do think this kind of shows he did, but could not figure out how to pull himself out
of his depression. Okay, so we forgive.
Depression is hard.
I know, man. I know it. I get it. Especially if I had 3 kids screaming in hunger, I imagine it would probably push you even further into depression, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. It's not like you can go get a script.
He can take
at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also he can take a line from Gen Z where you weaponize your mental illness and go I need you to go to the forest because I feel inside my soul that I'm sad. And
go figure out how to hunt. I can't even teach you how to read, bitch. You gotta go hunt.
And it's because you're getting upset with me for my mental illness. You're the bad one.
Yeah, so at least he wasn't doing that.
It's okay. We should cherish and respect each other's mental struggles.
Yes, and we should be able to forgive and move on, Jackie.
You're allowed to not forgive, though.
You're right.
Is that how you feel? The moment you say, I'm not.
I just feel like if I was in this situation, I'd need some therapy. Why haven't I called it that yet? And I think that if I could talk my way through it, I would be fine with it eventually. But also, I'm a Leo. It's hard for us to forgive and forget.
Everybody's got their own feelings about this moment.
Yes.
Obviously, it's going to be deeply troubling no matter what you feel. Elain sobs at Lucian saying that he was a good man, and Nesta remains almost unblinking. And it is this moment I do understand her being conflicted about it all, because he did. I mean, I feel like Feyre should be the most mad at him since he told her to go get them food in the forest.
Yeah.
But Nesta was furious with him for not helping the daughters, which is also fair.
Yes, but Nessa wasn't doing anything either to help.
No, nothing.
But she was also a child, so we can't be mad at her either.
Yeah.
And also, Mommy, the more we learn about Mommy was also a bitch.
Yeah, there's nothing good so far. And I love a lot of fan theories about the mother's backstory and that we're going to learn more about her. But at this point, we know very little except that she had typhoid or something. Mm-hmm. I forget which sickness she had, but she was sick with a fever of some sort.
Yes.
Feyre begins to lead Lucian away from the spot where they just held rights over their father. I don't know what that's called. Then when you spoke there,
give him the priest bit.
The diddles. The doodles.
I don't know if it's diddles. That's a different priest bit.
Yeah, it's different. And so as Feyre leads Lucian away, Elain follows, but Nesta remains at the site of where her father lays, and it's just, I don't know what she does there. We don't learn.
No.
She just, I think, stares and contemplates.
I think she's doing a bit of thinking.
She's probably spiraling. Maybe I'd imagine that happening. As they walk, Lucian debates about where he will go next. And after some prodding by Feyre, Elain invites him to stay in Valaris. And
Aww.
it's very cute, but also
It is,
I feel
but-
really bad for Lucian, man.
I know. It's not his fault.
No, and it's
that
not.
they're mated. Like, he's doing everything he can. He's trying to give her space. He's trying to, like, but be there. And, like, he doesn't want to abandon, but he doesn't want to be too much. And he doesn't want, like, he is stuck between a rock and a fucking
He
Elain
is.
right now.
Rockin' Elain, that's
yeah,
for
man.
sure. And also, like, I'm not mad at Elain. I get it. It's not. She doesn't owe him anything. But also, I feel.
I'm
really
not mad
sad.
about the mate part about Elain. The other things sometimes, well, I'm
Of
a
course.
baby. I'm just a baby girl.
Well, that and also just that fucking idiot Grayson.
But we've all been young and had the wool pulled over our eyes.
Oh, I know we've all had
by
a Grayson.
Somebody. We've all had a Grayson. We've all had that human that's like, ooh.
But in my case, there wasn't a Lucian waiting
No.
around being like, Madame.
No. If there were, I would have gotten over Grayson pretty fast.
My Lucian came later in life.
Aww.
When there wasn't a Grayson around, and that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Henry. I was talking about Henry.
I was waiting for you to say it because I was like, maybe there was another one.
No,
maybe she
no.
maybe there was something before Henry that I don't know about.
No, it's only
No
been
judgments.
Henry.
I know that, I know that we all, of course, before you get married, your hymen grows back. That's what they don't tell you. When you're planning the wedding, the hymen grows back. So that's why you have to have the big wedding if you want your hymen to grow back.
Yeah, I actually think that would be something that would fly in the wedding industry, and it would get people to spend more money on a wedding.
Oh, yeah. If they thought that it could go back, if I could turn back, I'm in time.
Not everyone even has a hymen. Hymen virginity is actually
It's a
sort of an illusion.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. Although I thought that there was a 90 Day Fiancé, I realized she was saying that she was doing a reconstruction to make her, like, because she had given birth multiple times, that she got a reconstruction to make her pussy tighter. I'm sorry, her vulva tighter. I shouldn't say pussy in this context.
No.
To make her vulva tighter. But at first I thought she was asking to have her hymen, like, put back in place, and I was like, can they do that?
What? That is the most uncomfortable. If you do have a hymen, the first time you have sex, it hurts and you bleed.
Yes.
Why would you want that again?
For the illusion, man. If you could turn back time.
There's nothing appealing about a 40-something virgin.
Maybe, then they're clean. Ugh. They're like a cork board without any holes in it.
Oh, God.
I don't believe any of the things I was just saying. Satire.
Satire.
We need this for everything, not just in Good Pud, because now in Good Pud, every time we yell satire, there's going to be a screen that comes up that says satire. I'm like, I think I need that in every part of my life. It's satire.
You have to need that Reddit thing where it's like the /S.
Yes.
Sarcasm.
But if I start saying /S, that means it's time for me to go into an early grave.
Yeah, no, you have to walk into the ocean for sure. But then eventually Elain does, at the sort of prodding of Feyre, say, "You can come stay with us in Valaris." And as they get to their camp, Feyre leaves the other two, hoping that maybe they'll actually say words to each other. But she doesn't know.
No, it's just Elain going, and him going, oh, like
very
he's talking
nice.
to a toddler, pretending he understands what she's saying. Wow.
Wow, look
Is
at
that
that.
a poem?
Wow. So she leaves the two of them and goes back to the tents, and she's relieved to find Rhys still very much alive, though he's wiped out. Probably coming back from the dead is tiring.
I guess.
And he's laid down on some cushions. And then he sees the legendary Miriam
That's my name.
is there, as well as Prince Dracon. So chapter 79 starts with Feyre becoming acquainted with this duo she's heard so much about, but hasn't really spent any moments of time with, and observes their easy nature between the two of them, both as between the two of that couple, and as well as their easygoing nature with Rhysand, like their old friends.
Yes, and they must bang like animals, right? They have to.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All I could think of is like, if I had that kind of time, You're just like out on this island and you're separated from everybody else and you have your own little like hood that you created. It's like all the people you want to be there.
And it's like a resort.
It's like an old folks home, but for fucking on an island.
Yeah, it's like sexy and on an island.
Yes.
I think that's what our future of old folks' home should be like.
I can't wait to go to an old folks home. We talk to like the older generation right now. They're also scared of going to old folks homes. And I'm just like, put me in a spot where we're all banging. There's salsa lessons. And then I can like not grab on, but also like kind of like give like a tug. And give him a wink and be like, I'm just old. And you'll be able to get away with so much more. I'm like, oh, it's cute because she's old.
Oh, it's cute.
It's not harassment. It's just she's just being cute. Isn't that cute what she does?
Yeah.
And then we do jazz hands and like.
You remember the movie Beaches when her mom is in retirement and she's sitting on the beach?
Yeah.
It's just great.
Please.
I think that's a great investment for Gen X and millennials and Gen Z.
Fun old folks homes.
Yeah, like badass, banging ass old folks
Let's start making them now. We got to start making them now.
Got to start building for the future. Feyre immediately feels a kinship with Miriam. They all, do you think Rhysand and Drakon and Miriam ever once, like at a pleasure hall were like, you wanna?
The way that they were talking about like how like easy they all get along, they have all had sex with each other.
And right now Rhysand's like
haven't.
laying out on like pillows on the ground with his shirt open. And you're like, they've
all fucked. In all these generations, again, when they were talking about like even just like at the meeting that they were all at, there is no way that there hasn't been just some drunken night when you're like, why not? We live forever. I would have had sex with everybody.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, in the book we have coming up soon, we get a little bit more of a glimpse into their past. And it is a horny ass book we're about to start reading.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! So Feyre learns that in this discussion when they're first all getting acquainted with each other, they talk about the battle, and she learns that they, in fact, did not end up killing Jurian, which is good, brave.
It is good.
Then Feyre has a question for the couple. Would they be willing to hide an object of terrible power on their secret island?
Just like a question. Just like a silly little question. Object of terrible power on your secret island?
Mm-hmm. She's talking about the cauldron, of course.
So does that mean you get to go to the fuck island?
Yeah.
Is that why you dressed up like the cauldron?
It wasn't, but I maybe subconsciously.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's just me. Hi, I'm a terrible object of power. You want to take me over to the island?
Take me with you to your fuck island? I will. The answer is yes.
Yay! And without any hesitation, they agree to do so. I think they feel guilt about not arriving sooner to help. And that's when you use guilt. That's when you utilize their shame.
Yes.
For your needs.
Yes.
They tell Faison that they will take it with them on one of their ships when they leave. Then Feyre tells them that before they leave, she would like them to be present for a meeting.
Okay. Is it a lunch meeting?
You would hope they would at least have snacks.
Something. At least some sort of like sex pool or,
Oh, pool or snacks?
Yes.
Or both?
Pool or snacks or both. Well, we were talking about this yesterday. We were talking about having more pool meetings. I think that there should be more pool meetings. There should be more lunch meetings.
Yes.
I think, why have a meeting just be a meeting when there can be eating?
Well, LPN's holding McNeely will just make it a lunch meeting where he'll eat smelly food without anybody else agreeing to have lunch at the meeting.
And he goes, it's lunchtime. It's a lunch meeting.
It's a lunch meeting.
So if it is at noon, expect him to be eating during the meeting.
Yep. Exclusively holds an eating.
And last time he ate tandoori chicken, and we're all just sitting there, which is
very close quarters,
just like rubbed up against each other. And I'm like, and he's just like sitting next to a piggy at a trough.
Yep.
Lunch meetings, though, everybody's got to have them.
I think so. Just a day later, after they are all having this discussion in the tent, this meeting she has called for is commencing. They've chosen to hold it at the ruins of the Archeron estate, mostly because they're in the middle. They don't really want to hold it in the middle of a death-filled battlefield, and they're all right there because they're close to the Archerons right now. If you recall, Hybern had set up really close to her village.
Yes.
So they're in the human lands. I don't know my pointer.
Feyre's village.
They're down here somewheres. And also probably it looks really badass to hold a meeting in the ruins of a mansion. Like it probably looks pretty.
Oh, the backdrop I'm sure looks unbelievable, but also like kind of scary and like these are dire times.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd want to do it in ruins. You don't want to just do it in some like, what are you going to go all the way back
Under
to
a
one of their
tree?
castles? Yeah, exactly. And as the sun set and my family's half-ruined estate became filled with high lords and princes, generals and commanders, humans and fae.
She's still taken aback at them all existing in this space. Everyone comes, even Tamlin. And it's over the course of like an afternoon into an evening, they slowly all file into this building. And she just cannot believe they're all there. As she notes Lucian there in full Illyrian leathers, Tamlin looks at him with disgust. And Lucian, like she can see Lucian feeling shame and guilt. And she can't obviously have the conversation, but it wasn't like pointed. Like Lucian just didn't have any clothes.
Yeah.
But Tamlin sees him in his, Illyrian night court attire and
just feels like he's a turncoat, which, I mean, he kind of was to Tamlin. Like, not to, I mean, for us, like for the right side, but like in Tamlin's eyes, he straight up turned his back on him. And like, we're happy for it.
And I mean, he did deserve it.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm sure it
But,
doesn't
like, he did.
feel good to him.
No.
And Lucian's like, sorry. And then Feyre's just like, well, this is going to have to be a discussion for them to have another day.
Except Tamlin is also like mad at him because he's mated to Elain, and that's not his. Like, I feel like that's also part of his upset too. Of like, oh, and now you're a part of the Archeron family, and it's like that's not his fault.
No. Tamlin's anger is very juvenile a lot of the time. It's an immature form of rage generally. So that makes sense that he would be just mad about something that nobody can control.
Yeah.
He's just mad. I'm just mad. So it takes a couple hours for everyone to arrive, and even dumb old sentient mop Grayson's there.
Great.
The last to arrive is the cursed Vasa, who Feyre now sees is in her human form for the first time she's gotten a Gandron. This woman, because if you recall, she showed up as a bird to the fight. Very helpful in that moment, being cursed.
Her unbound hair was a reddish gold, thick dark lashes and brows framing the most stunningly blue eyes I'd ever seen. Beautiful, her freckled skin golden brown and gleaming. Only a few years older than me, but young feeling, cultish, fierce and untamed, despite her curse.
Yeah, she sounds hot.
She sounds hot. Oh yeah, young feeling, you don't say?
Not that part.
How young feeling is she?
It's like golden brown freckled skin and blue eyes sounds really hot to me.
Yes, no. And also cultish seems like she's just like, I like cultish as a way to describe like fierce and untamed is like a sexy. She's a manic pixie dream girl of like, oh, is she going to turn into a firebird?
She's a little bit of a Zoe Dash.
Oh, yes, she is. It's like, what's going to happen with this firebird?
I hope she doesn't pull a ukulele out.
Oh, and she starts singing and like, we're like, oh, it's so old school of her. I think I am in love with the description of this woman though.
Yeah.
Completely.
I feel like we're gonna see a lot more of her in later books. Vasa asks Feyre if she's Feyre Cursebreaker.
No, I'm just
I'm
a
the other
regular Feyre. That would be such a bitchy response. Yeah, what do you friggin' think?
No, I'm Julia Cursebreaker. After Feyre confirms that she is, Vasa asks her if she can break the curse that's been laid over her by the queens. The queens, of course, having sold her to Koshki.
Mm-hmm.
She is a no-nonsense kind of lady, this Vasa.
I mean, if I had to turn into a bird half of the day, I'd be like, can we let's get
let's
this
fix this.
done?
Feyre tells her she doesn't know, but she can try. Vasa agrees that they will discuss all of this that's happened later. Feyre is a bit nervous as those last few appear, but having Rhys by her side, breathing and warm, is enough to spur her forward. Towards the room where they're all gathered. Nesta begins to walk away, but Feyre stops her. Says, you are coming, aren't you? Join me.
She's
Nesta-
all in a friggin' tizzo, man. Her brain's all just made out of gack right now.
Oh, Gak.
Yeah, man.
Gak.
Man, what a dumb thing to give to Kiss to be like, throw it against the wall. It won't stain anything. And it just stained everything.
Wasn't my problem at the time.
Our poor parents. We were just given slime to put everywhere.
And Floam. Remember Floam?
Oh, I remember Floam. I just remember being like, this feels weird in my mouth, as straight up my mom was like, don't eat it!
What did they think kids were going to do?
Of course I'm going to put it in my mouth. It's got all these little bulls in it. I don't want to see what it feels like inside of my mouth.
No.
It's like a silica packet.
A silica packet. You never can eat those.
You can't eat those either. And yet you're going to give me fun dips. You're going to give me fun dips. You're going to give me rock candy. But then you tell me I can't eat a silica packet?
You would be disappointed if you did, though.
Sure, I think you'd get pretty sick.
I think it also just wouldn't taste good going down.
Yeah, no. But maybe just for a second, you'd feel like infinity as those little gel bursts in your mouth.
Maybe. Oh, the escapism of candy. So Feyre, because Nesta acts like she's not going to be a part of this meeting, she doesn't even know why Feyre really wants her to be there, but this is a sort of a, I don't know, almost a sisterly loving sort of moment. She says, I would like for you to come. After consideration, Nesta takes Feyre's hand.
Whoa.
And they walk together in the room that's holding all the leaders of Prythian and beyond.
I feel like that was the same way everybody felt while I was doing the VR during the 12-hour subathon, and Henry came behind me and held my hands, and I was like, don't let go of me. And everyone got to see in person the most Henry and I have ever touched.
Yeah, no, I felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes, I was. That's when you know I'm really scared. The fact that I accepted my brother's touch.
I don't think I've ever seen you like touch hands before.
No, that was really big. That's why I feel like this is a Nesta Feyre moment.
Yeah.
Of like, you all saw Henry and I touch more than we've ever touched in our entire lives in one go.
Yeah. Yeah, in Nesta, it is a little like also, oh God, what's Nesta going to do? Like, I don't trust that she's just gently holding Feyre's hand.
No, I don't trust, man. This is all not trusting at this point. I mean, Rhys just died, but not died. Like, let's go. Like, who do we trust? Who's a turncoat? Who's not a turncoat? But silence settled. Rhys nudged me forward, a hand brushing the small of my back as I took a step past him. I lifted my chin, scanning the room, and I smiled at them, the humans and Fae assembled here, in peace. My voice was clear and unwavering.
My name is Feyre Archeron. I was once human, and now I am Fae. I call both worlds my home, and I would like to discuss renegotiating the treaty. Feyre begins this collective. She's the leader here by sharing her story from the beginning to now. All that's happened since she shot a Fae with an arrow in the forest those years ago.
And I guess, you know what, it would be nice for a recap as someone that, like, even though I reread it, I still read the recaps just to remind me of every single chapter. And I think this is great because they don't have Google.
No.
What about for everybody that, like, missed some stuff in between? It's like, you know what? Thank you for the recap, Feyre. I didn't know we were about to get it, but thank you so much for starting at the very beginning. And then I fell in love with him. And then I was like, but you're mean to me. But then I was like, do I love him? Do I not love him? Like, I imagined her going beat by beat, where then it's just like hours later, everyone's like kind of falling asleep. Just like, is the meeting over yet?
And then he taught me to write a little bit, but like when he was teaching me to write, it was like kind of flirty. And I was like, is he flirting with me?
Oh my God, I'm taking
it. Or... Yeah. So she tells them all right until they walk right into this room. She goes right up until the storyline when they are all there together. And then Human and after Human and Faye after Faye step forward to tell their stories, to lodge complaints about things that would happen in the future, to share concerns. And all I can think of is, again, man, I hope they had snacks.
I hope they had snacks. Is it a lunch meeting? You know what? I used to make fun of Holden, but now I kind of understand. If lunch is going to be a part of the meeting, doesn't it make the meeting better?
Sometimes, if it's an hour, probably don't need to have a full meal. But if they're having a 12, 13, 14-hour meeting here, they better have something to eat.
Yeah, I need something. At least, like, sparkling water.
Please. There is much arguing and debate, but everyone stays until the end of the night, which Feyre notes and thinks is probably a good sign. It's not like they've resolved things or fixed it or figured out what they're doing in the future, but nobody stormed out and winnowed away with their people.
No one had a lightning fight. Like, no one had,
so many different kinds of fights could have happened.
Oh, yeah.
Scary.
Because remember, last time they had a meeting like this, they all had bets on who was going to get into fisticuffs first. So this is a good step for everybody.
I think so. Feyre watches the hordes begin to leave as the sun rises and senses Jurian standing behind her as she watches the others.
Imagine him just staring at the back of her head, and we just turn around and be like, hey, Jesus Christ, get away from me.
Hey, Feyre.
Hey.
She asks what he's going to do now because he's not actually creeping behind her. He's also just behind her watching.
He's just standing there. He's just standing there.
And he says that Vasa has offered him a place in her court. But until the curse is broken, it doesn't really matter. As they stand there watching the others, do you think we stand a chance?
I asked, motioning to the human figures still walking far away, back toward the camp.
Of peace between all of us?
Jurian was silent for a long moment.
Yes,
he said softly.
I do.
And I didn't know why, but it gave me comfort.
So we learn in this scene that he and Vasa and maybe some others we'll find out are kind of just, they don't really have courts anymore. And
they're all going to start.
I mean, I'd like to assume so. But
Why
they're
not?
At least going to go shack
Think of how
up
hot
together.
Vasa is, right? And we know Jurian is hot as well. So I'm just saying, when in Bird.
Oh, do you think they fuck when she's in bird form?
Yeah.
Ew.
I mean, I don't want to have sex with a bird, okay? But I
No.
would have sex with a firebird. And maybe it's just because I dressed up as one. And
It would
maybe like I'm
depend
thinking
on-
of me dressed as a firebird.
It would depend on how humanoid the bird was.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking it's like actually made out of fire.
You don't think that would hurt?
Yeah.
No.
I think it would be kind of scary.
I don't take you as a pain kind of girl.
No, I'm not. I'm soft. I'm very soft.
But maybe you're right. Maybe the fire would be like a fun. I don't know. I don't know if you ever tried those fire and ice condoms. They're not great.
No, I haven't. I get scared of all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what are you going to put? What are you putting inside of me? What kind of squeeze you got on it?
I'll say I've never done it intentionally, but sometimes that's what's available.
Oh, yeah. And then you're just like, oh,
It's not pleasant. Who likes that?
I don't want icy hot
it
on my
feels-
vagine.
That's what it feels like. Oh,
Yeah.
it's burning in there?
No.
Cool.
In the same way that old 17 magazines used to say, put Altoids in your mouth if you're giving a blowjob. And that is just, at least, and I'm not saying it's not everybody's jams, but at least you gotta let them know that you're doing it. I just remember old like 17 used to like, and Cosmos be like, surprise him with Altoids in your mouth. Like, never surprise. Always communicate.
You know, looking back at those, a lot of those advices, not good advices.
No.
And so they all disperse from the palace, the manor that no longer exists there, the rubble. A few days later, at the night court, they winnow back to Valaris, back to the townhouse. The one they didn't know if they would ever see again. They're all together again, the inner circle. As they appear, one by one, Feyre marvels that she can still hear children laughing outside.
Which is creepy in a lot of contexts, but not this one.
It's just a
Just regular child laughing.
Jack in the Box now.
Yeah. Yes.
No, this is a happy. There's
It's
still
happy,
people just living.
yes.
Because you remember, she heard when she first was winnowed to Valaris, and she was in that dark state, and she thought the night court was going to be like this horror place, and then she hears the first thing she hears is children playing outside.
Mm-hmm.
That she's back here now. That this is now her home, and that it's so much the same as before they left for battle, not tainted by what they had just gone through.
And even though we had all bathed as we stood there was a grime to us, like the blood hadn't entirely washed off. And I realized the home was indeed the same, but perhaps we were not.
Amren grumbles about how she's not going to be able to live off of blood anymore, and that she's kind of bummed about it.
Welcome back to food, Amren. Think of how good that food is there.
She's not. She likes blood.
I guess if you were only eating blood for how many centuries, you probably would be just like, I don't want to eat a roast beef.
Yeah, right. I guess it'd be like if we suddenly had to start drinking blood for food.
Yeah.
Like, I wish
I'd
that
be
I could have
sad.
pizza.
Yeah, I want a pizza.
Cassian teases her, and then they kind of go back again with they're immediately back in their familial teasing one another. And then both of them turn their focus onto Nesta, who has winnowed back with them, but is already making to go upstairs, not staying with the rest of the group who are all joking and joshing with each other. She almost seems to want to be away from them all.
It's so sad, too, because, like, I feel like we had been getting more Nesta. Like, Nesta had gotten more comfortable. And then with all this shit going on, now she's going to, like, pull away again. It's like, man, we were just so close
She just
to
stood
being
with them.
friends.
She just stood with them in that circle before the battle and held their hands.
Yes.
She contributed to the battle. She held fucking Feyre's hand, but she's already spiraling outward. You know, I get it. Look, I get it.
She's going through something.
But it sucks. She hasn't really even spoken very much since the battle itself. The others begin a banter, hoping to engage Nesta, but she doesn't smile or merge with the group. Sensing that the sisters might need a moment together, the others leave to search out some celebratory wine.
Hell yeah.
As they leave, Feyre reminisces about the note she gave to Lucian earlier to hand to Tamlin. It says, "Thank you. I hope you find happiness too."
Man, okay, think of being in Tamlin's position. You happy you received that note? Or are you pissed that you received that note?
Oh, I mean, furious.
Right?
I mean, he deserves it, but also, like, that is passive-aggressive as well, I think.
That is, that's why, like, I feel like she's doing it in this way of, like, see, I'm doing what's right. Like, nah, bitch, I don't think you think you're doing what's right. And maybe subconsciously you're doing this in a passive-aggressive way, but there's some passive aggression there.
Yeah, good. You have such a great time.
I
Like,
hope
have
you
such a
find
good
it.
summer.
I hope you find it too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's bitch note right there, bro.
But at the surface, she means it in her heart.
She does.
She still...
I wouldn't, is all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm glad that he did give her the kernel.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Give me that kernel.
That would have turned him into pure villain at that point.
But again, shades of gray. This is why, like, through all of these books, Tamlin goes up and down. Like, we never, as Feybays, we don't forgive. We will never forgive Tamlin for him being away. But shades of gray.
Well, what are you, Amren's clothes?
No, I'm like the other bitch's eyes. No beast. No beast, only gray.
She still openly feels anger towards him, but knows that there
Yes.
is good inside of him.
So I wished him well. I truly did, and hoped that one day perhaps he would face those insidious fears, that destructive rage rotting away inside him.
So,
I said to my sisters,
what now? Nesta immediately turns and leaves the room.
well, all right. Thanks for that, Nesta.
So Nesta's not doing great. So she, as soon as like Feyre tries to have this like nice little powwow with her sisters and like discuss what they're gonna do, Nesta just sort of doesn't even give a response and starts to walk upstairs.
Cool. Thanks.
Elain nervously watches and says that she doesn't think that Nesta has processed what happened with their father. And Feyre agrees.
Yeah.
Elain wants to know if they should help her. Feyre says they will one day when she's ready. And that might be a little bit of foreshadowing.
Ooh, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have to find out in our next sexy book soon.
The next book's not sexy, really, but
No,
the one
it's
after that is.
We just got, it is the 5th book, man. The 5th book.
Woo!
Woo.
I've been reading. I'm obviously rereading it again for like the 7th time for this show, and I'm not mad about it.
Nah, man. Real excited about where we're headed.
Though Nesta is in turmoil, there seems to be a lightness in Elain that maybe she'll even be able to round this curve and leave the past behind her a little bit. Maybe even fucking stupid Grayson will get out of here. She smiles and tells Feyre that she'd like to plant a garden.
Good. Oh. Wow.
You want a pretty flower?
Yeah, you're gonna dig big holes, aren't you, Elaine? That is how I would speak to her if I was Feyre.
At least she's just not like staring.
Yeah, at least there's a little bit. We're getting a little bit more from her, right? It's like that's why it's like we should nourish the fact that she wants to plant a garden. That's good.
She had a smile.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
You know, she's like kind of on this plane of reality just for more than 3 minutes at a time. So that's a plus.
Good. As this book rounds out, we get something new. We get a chapter from Rhysand's perspective. Though it's still again in first person, which I think is a nod to the point that they can see into each other's minds.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly experiencing what he's going through of his rebirth from this point. Like that he can hardly believe he's back with his family. That he can hear them laughing in the other room, that he's kind of stunned that he's not dead.
Talk about another person that needs therapy. You die and you come back and then you have to like deal with like, who am I? Am I the same person? Am I like, do I have the same wants and needs as dead Rhysand does? Like, I feel like I'd be going through quite a bit.
Yeah, and he kind of is. This chapter really is just him experiencing the aftermath of all of this. He's listening and watching from far away almost, and he's listening to his mate here, safe and whole. And Cassian and Azriel, however, find him. They come into the room where he's standing and pull him out of his thoughts, as his brothers would do. Mm-hmm. They know him almost better than anyone, and they want him to accept it's okay, that they're all okay, and to come urging him forward to celebrate with their family. Chapter 82 returns to Feyre's point of view. She's walking up to where Rhysand sits on the roof of the townhouse. So this is later on after they've all been celebrating. And he's up on the townhouse looking over at Valaris. He's not drinking or sorrowful. He's just watching his city. She comes around, and as she sits in his lap, he laughs as he looks at her. The shop ladies gave it to me for free, as thanks for saving them from Highburn. Maybe I should do it more often if it gets me free lingerie.
For I indeed wore that pair of red, lacy underthings beneath a matching red nightgown that was so scandalously sheer it showed them off. You know what, Natalie? So yesterday I saw Natalie, and she said, "You're going to be so surprised by my costume tomorrow." And I was like, "What are you going to be dressed as?"
You thought I was going to come in lingerie?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I don't want to judge you. Like, I don't want to shame you if that's what you decide to show up in. Like, I'd understand. But that is what went through my brain of like, is that what she's going to wear? It's going to be real uncomfortable for poor Ryan.
Jack, you're going to love what I'm wearing tomorrow.
As you stared into my chestnut eyes. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say, ma'am.
No, I don't know if I could pull that. I don't know. I think that I could not sit here and do a recording
In lingerie?
Not thinking about shifting around constantly.
It's difficult enough wearing a corset as my breasts just pool into the center.
But this is a reference to that memory or that fantasy that Rhysand sort of piped into her head before they had ever kissed or anything, where she's walking away from him and she's imagining herself in that shop wearing the red lacy underthings, and then she realizes it's Rhysand's doing it to her. They luxuriate in this moment of peace as they talk about what will come. He tells her that he heard her when he had died. She tenses at just talking about the death and tells him she can't ever feel that again. He agrees that the way he felt under the mountain, which is how he felt the same because she died under the mountain, he knows what she felt. He says it's unacceptable ever again. When it's time to go there,
I said quietly,
we go together. It's a bargain,
he said, and kissed me gently. I murmured back onto his lips.
Yes, it is.
The skin on my left arm tingled. A lick of warmth snaked down it. I looked down to find another tattoo there, the twin to the one that had once graced it, save for that black band of the bargain I'd made with Bryaxis. He'd modified this one to fit around it, to be seamlessly integrated amid the whorls and swirls.
He tells her that he missed the old tattoo. So now both of her forearms are covered in Illyrian markings.
This is dumb.
Listen, we'll
I'm
talk
saying
about it in a
it's
second.
dumb. It's dumb. It's a dumb decision. It's a dumb thing they've made together. I think it's dumb.
It's a very teenaged...
It is like
Vow.
what in the Romeo and Juliet? I'm sorry, Romeo plus Juliet,
you.
please.
Thank you.
What are we talking about here? You're going to make a bargain that if one dies, the other one has to die as well? That's so stupid.
Also, it's just like not fair to their court.
Yes, it's not fair.
They're leaving them so fucked.
Especially if she is a high lady of the night court and she's supposed to be just as regarded as he is.
Who's going to run it? Elain?
Who's going to run it?
Is Elain going to be the high lady of
What
Valaris?
are you talking about? Like, I know that's supposed to be like, oh, it's cute. This makes me the most angry of anything that happens in any of the books. It is a dumb decision.
And I will say to their benefit, all of the inner circle that's their response. What the fuck did you do that for, you idiot?
Idiots.
But they did it. So I guess we can say like their love and lust for one another overrides anything else, which is technically romantic, but also very childish.
But what?
So
They're supposed to be running whole court.
I know. I'm with you. But so she looks down and she sees that he has the matching one now on his own left arm without the hand markings. She brings her arms, now completely covered in markings, around his neck.
I mean, badass. I'm sure she
that's
looks
very
great.
sexy.
Like, very, very sexy.
They could have just said, like, if one of us dies, the other one
We'll be really sad forever.
I promise. And he promises to go with her on the next adventure and all the rest. And suddenly, they're airborne, Rhys taking them into the sky over Valaris. Feyre marvels at the city that she now calls hers and notes that there's still scars there from Highburn. She knows that they will have work to do, but in this moment, she's savoring just being here with her mate. And don't worry, she's also thinking about painting.
Oh, thank God. You mean the real Feyre has come back?
Mm-hmm.
Rhys leveled out, sent a thought into my mind, and grinned broadly as I summoned wings.
He releases her, and she gets her wings working after a few adjustments, and then they're flying next to each other. She's flying at his side.
Rhys fell into flight beside me, and when he smiled at me again as we sailed through the stars and the lights and the sea-kissed breeze, when he showed me all the wonders of Valaris, the glittering rainbow, a living river of color beneath us, when he brushed his wing against mine, just because he could, because he wanted to, and we'd have an eternity of nights to do this, to see everything together. A gift. All of it.
Fiend!
Fiend. How do we feel? King of Highburn, dead. Daddy, dead. Rhys, dead, brought back to life.
Amren dead, brought back to life.
Amren dead, brought back to life. Feyre in the past, dead, brought back to life. We're fine with Tamlin right now. And we are going into the fourth book, which is the shortest book, but also arguably a book where, not a lot happens.
Don't spoil it. I will say, I do enjoy that the book that we'll be coming into is a we're not in the middle of a crisis.
No, because then you get to, actually it's where like characterizations blossom because like we've seen them in times of tense and strife and war. So what is their life outside of this? And we get to explore that in the next book, which I'm really excited about.
I am too. And
And
even
we're one step closer to the nest edge and I'm about to break.
I'm about to do something else. So yeah. I'm glad it's there though because it's very sad to get to the end of this book because the way that the books are structured is going to change from here. But it was nice that this isn't the actual goodbye because this could have been the end of the whole series.
Oh yes,
because it is. I mean, you're happy. It's like they're in Valaris. They're flying together. She has got her wings. They're fucking all the time. She's got family. Her sisters are confined.
they're fine. They're fine. We'll find out more about them.
But there's all of these other loose ends. And I think, as JM has said in an interview before, that she didn't really intend to have this be this huger world. But every time she built this world around Feyre, that it got bigger and bigger. And she got really curious about the other characters' lives. And so she started writing about them more. And I think most people are really happy about that because
I'm really happy about it.
yeah, I do want to know so many of the other people's stories.
Yes. Thank you for your curiosity, SJM.
Yeah, thank you for being curious and using your imaginations. But yeah, this is it. We finished it.
We finished it. We finished it. The big bad book. The big bad book. We finished it.
Actually, I think the fifth book is much bigger.
Yes.
I think it's like 900 pages or
yeah,
something.
it's throbbing, you might say.
It's swollen.
Can't wait to get swollen.
Yep. Getting swole with my sister.
Yes. But not a weight shall be lifted.
I promise not to wear lingerie to any of the episodes.
I also promise, and this is a cute promise. Should we get the ink that just formed on our?
Yeah.
Yep. We both promise not to wear any lingerie.